This is a new playlist called the Holding Company Plan. What we're going to talk about this week is how much money it costs to start an internet business. And this is something that I'm really thinking about. I will kind of share with you the cost analysis that it cost me to start successful businesses. And I'll talk about the most money I spent to start one failed business. So let's kind of go through the trajectory. My first successful business was GC Solutions, and I was selling commercial office furniture for this company. This business made $250,000 in 8 months. How much did this business cost me to start? Well, I created a new LLC, and I think that was $139. I think, I'm not sure. That's all the money I spent to start that business that had a yield of $250,000. What were my expenses for this business? Expenses were zero. I had no cost. So my profit was $250,000. Now, this was a business that I was already doing on a full-time basis. I was already selling commercial office furniture. So I just had to literally add this to my plate. All right, so this is the first business. The second business, which is the upscale garage sale. That was the storage auction business. The cost of that business was, I would say, $30,000. I had to spend about $30,000. So the first 3 months I spent about $10,000, spent about $3,000 per month. So that took me to $10,000. And then I got hip to what the more successful storage auction buyers were doing. They all had stores. They all bought the big units. So I spent $20,000 on large units, and that $20,000 turned into, I'm gonna say, about $100K over 3 months. And that's how I got in the storage auction business. So I spent $30,000. And let's go back to Conundrum Publishing. Conundrum Publishing, which was my first pure internet business. I know I spent $250 for the domain and holding company setup, for my blog, all this other stuff. And I'm gonna park it at $2,500 for everything. That's for the LLC, that's for the domain and the camera. So I spent $2,500 in 2 years. And then the third year, actually, I upgraded because I remember I bought an iMac off of Craigslist, and that was like $900. And I spent, I think, $500 on a camera that can do full HD, which is 720p, 1080p, 2100p. That's full HD. So year 3, I probably spent another $1,500. So $2,500. So I spent $4,000 to start a business that had a profit of $1,720,000. So that's literally what I put into starting my internet business. Now, my internet businesses have made me the most money out of any business that I've ever started. So when we switched over to Macdaddy Media and we started selling online courses very hard, there was no upfront investment, I would say, because this is when I actually, about 2014, I got a brand new 27-inch iMac. Already had a 21-inch iMac. I think I spent like $2,700. And then I bought the 17-inch MacBook Pro. 17-inch MacBook Pro. Spent maybe $4,000 for that. I began to upgrade my camera equipment. So we're at 6,700. And I'm gonna just go ahead and say 5,000. So 2014, we spent, I'm gonna say 11,700. I'm just gonna say $12,000. We spent $12,000 2014, and that lasted 2015, 2016, 2017. So that 12,000, and I was consistently at 40 to 50,000 per month those years. So starting, and this is why I said I bought it, because in 2012, I made 1.72 million. So I really just pulling from that money. This is why I said I didn't have to invest any new money, because the money that the business made was already there. And then 2018, I bought some more camera stuff. I remember this vividly. 2000, I spent $2,100 for these lights for the green screen. I bought the green screen. I bought 2 of these lights, which were $800 for everything. So that's $1,600, $2,100, $3,700, $4,000. And then I switched from Canon to Sony. And that literally was about, with the lens and all this other stuff. So we spent $8,000, 2018, which lasted 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. In 2021, this is where I kind of got this idea that I was going to start a trading channel. And I went ahead and spent $12,000 on that computer right there. And I spent $5,000 on the monitor, $17,000. And one of the things I did is I consistently, whenever I upgrade I upgraded my MacBook Pro, I spent $6,000 there. So $23,000. I spent $23,000 in 2021. And that's my current computer setup. Because this computer, 2021, and the thing is with Macs will last 6-7 years. So I'm not going to have to upgrade this 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26. 2026 is probably when I'll upgrade this setup. And then, yeah. So that's literally, and in 2020, I made 3 million. So as you can see, the cost of an internet business can be quite cheap in comparison to what you can make. I mean, I don't really feel the spend, so to speak, because the spend is not like I got to spend 100K and I only made 150K. The spend hasn't been like that. So with an internet business, and let's talk about a content business. If you wanted to start a YouTube channel, what would you spend to start a proper YouTube channel? So let's go from the top. Number one, I'm an LLC guy. So we would set up let's just go ahead and do it the correct way. We would set up a holding company. We would set up a parent company, and then we would set up 4 child corporations. So that's going to be $1,000 right there just to set that up. Then your banking, let's go ahead and setting up your banking is going to be $500. You're going to put $100 in your banking accounts. And then, so we're at $1,500. Now, let's go ahead and talk about setting up a YouTube channel and the things that you need to buy. I feel that you need to buy a desktop computer and a laptop. Now, why is this? Essentially, why did my laptop, my MacBook Pro, cost $6,000? Because I fully spec'd it out to max specs. So if I needed to replace this computer setup with my MacBook Pro, or I go traveling or vacation, I still have a lot of computing power to do my stuff. So let's go ahead and just say you spend $3,000 on computers. So that's going to put you at $4,500. And then your editing software, Adobe has something, a subscription plan, or you can use Final Cut. Final Cut's going to be $200. So we can go $4,700. And then your camera and your lens, you can get that for $1,500 to $3,000. So we're going to say $3,000. We're going to say $1,500. So we're at 200. We're at $6,200 for the setup of your YouTube channel. This is the computers. This is the camera. Also, you can get lights. I'm going to put $400. You can probably get lights cheaper for that, because essentially I have lights right here. I've had those lights back there, I think since 2017, and I think they cost me like $300. So you can get lights, 400. So lights, 400. And now you have an LLC. So we're at $6,600 to properly set up a YouTube channel. I know that many people, it's like you could go ahead and film your YouTube videos on your phone. If you want to become a professional YouTuber, you're gonna have to spend the money on gear. I'm just kind of giving it like, you could do this, go to Amazon, or not Amazon, but go to eBay and buy all this stuff used. So outside of the $1,500 for the setup, you could buy a lot of used stuff and maybe spend $2,000. That's your camera, that's your lens, and all that. Let's talk about this. One of the things that you want to do is spend a lot of money on your lenses, more so than your camera. So this is a 1.4 24 lens. This lens is, I think, about $1,500. This lens is a 35 millimeter. This is a 1.4 24 millimeter. And this is the 35 millimeter. At one point I had 2 of these. You could do a lot with this lens. On this camera, I have a 1.8 Sony. And this right here is going, oh, I have a 1.4 on this camera, and I have the 1.8 on this camera. This is going to be the car camera. This is kind of like extra. I can go ahead and put this in my car and just kind of leave it for car setups, just extra. But this camera was like $2,000, and you could literally buy this camera and get an a Sony FE 1.820, and this is a Sony f1.4. Hold on a second. There we go. All right, because I had to adjust it. And this could be another car lens, but essentially you want to spend your money on your lens for setting up your YouTube channel, because I'm getting a lot of questions about what camera am I using. It's the camera to a degree, because this is 1.4 lens, but essentially the reason that my videos are looking a little better is I'm putting color in it. I'm playing around with the color, and that comes with the editing software in Final Cut. But literally, you know, this is to start a content creation business the way that I would start it today. I started my first YouTube channel with an LLC, and this is what's going to happen with the new channel. It's like, this is a brand new channel, and then I have, I have the other channel, and this is in a different LLC than the previous YouTube channel, or it will be once I get this channel monetized. But I already have the banking and LLC and all that stuff set up. Now, this is just to start a content creation business. I know that a lot of people want to literally pull out their phone and start making content, and you can, but let me go ahead and just tell you what you're going to be facing. Everyone is going to be making content with their cell phones. And unless you're really young and you're going to get a very broad young audience, that's just not going to be in the cards for you. So that's what it would take to start a YouTube. And we're just talking about the money that you need to spend to set up your holding company, to set up your LLCs, to buy your equipment, to buy your cameras. This is just the cost. We'll get into the things you need to do in mental money to actually set up your YouTube channel. Now, this is a content creation business. Now, all of this camera stuff will work for YouTube, it will work for Instagram, it will work for TikTok. All of this stuff will work for those platforms. And the thing is, you can buy this camera equipment one time and have it work for all of your video production stuff. So that's one of the things. Now, let's talk about starting a non-content creation business. Let's say you wanted to start an Amazon FBA business. You would need $10,000 to launch and start one product. If you wanted to start with Amazon, think about it, let's say you want 5 products. You would need $50,000 to launch 5 products on Amazon. And you know, this whole thing with doing Amazon, you would have to spend $10,000 per product. This is to launch the product, get it on Amazon, give some products away, to run advertising. And this is one of the things that's really sneaky. Like, once you get your stuff floating on Amazon where you're getting consistent sales and you're making money, you don't want to run out of inventory. Because what you run out of, and this is something that no one really talks about, when you run out of inventory on Amazon, your whole Amazon account resets and it goes back to basic. So you don't ever want to run it. You want to be in a position where you can consistently keep sending inventory to Amazon so they never run out of your inventory. And you want to get to the point where you're going to need more money, because essentially, let's go ahead and say you started 5 different products. You launched 5 different products on Amazon. You had the $50,000, and then literally you started to sell. You would not start pulling money out of Amazon to put into your pocket for 6 to 8 months. Why? Because as the money comes in, you would go out and buy more product, and you would get it set up where you can consistently send product to Amazon. So once again, $10,000 minimum to launch one product on Amazon. Now, let's say you wanted to launch a product on Etsy. Everyone is going to creating digital products. These are products that don't have a lot of cost, and once again, I would stay away from this product. And let me go ahead and talk about, something that I'm actually doing. The cost of my clothing brand, Hustlers Kung Fu Drip, right? With the drip, we've already spent $6,600. Now, that's part of a mixture with Hustlers Kung Fu University. So that's kind of part of it, because we've spent $6,600, but that money has already been recouped because we made it from Hustlers Kung Fu University. But let's just go ahead. This is the next thing that we're going to launch. Now, what we're going to launch is going to be purple, right? It's going to be purple, and this is going to be yellow. And we're going to kind of play around with this, but to order 100, because this is embroidery, it's going to be like $44 per piece, right? So we're looking at $5,500 to order 100 pieces. And if we sell it for $99, we will make, let's see, and we sold 100 at 99 times 100, that's going to be $10,000. So with launching a clothing brand, you're going to have cost of goods, which is going to be quite significant. And if you have advertising, literally you could be in the position where this thing will cost you $50 and then $25 for advertising. So you've got $75 spent to make $25. So we got a lot of stuff to work out with Hustlers Kung Fu Drip. More than likely, once I get this really sexy, we're gonna launch the sweatshirt, the hoodie, the long sleeve t-shirt, and long sleeve t-shirt. We'll launch that, and we will see how that goes. But the clothing brand, literally, I can spend to fully outfit the store and stuff. I can spend $50,000 to $75,000. That's to order the inventory, to have it on stock before I start actually running it. And pretty much what I'm gonna do, and this is just kind of in my head, I'm probably gonna do a 3X. So let's say it costs me 50, I would sell these for 150. I know you're giggling, but literally I've seen there's a Prada sweatshirt selling for $1,900. And I know that if I find the right audience and I get the right marketing angle and all this other stuff, I could sell that for $150. I know I can. So these are the cost of an internet business, and everyone is trying to start an internet business without spending any money. Let me go ahead and just break the bad news for you. And this comes with this book called Upshift. The demographics of that. There are so many people who are trying to start a business with little to no money. That market is going to be extremely saturated. It's going to be really hard to make what I call livable income. And livable income, I would say, is $10,000 per month or more after expenses, after cost. And it's going to get really, really hard because there's so many people who are looking to get into these business models. And these business models do exist where you don't have to spend any money. And this is one of the reasons that literally with organic marketing, it's going to get really hard for you to make money in the future with organic marketing. But this is just kind of the thought process of the things that you need to do, the things you need to understand, the things you need to have an understanding of. Because if you're a person with a good credit score, getting $6,000 to $50,000 for your business with business credit is actually kind of easy. So the thing is, you really need to know what you're getting yourself into, what you're setting yourself up for, and how it's all going to play out. So this is one of the things that you have to look at. And this is kind of my story because after GC Solutions, I've never had to go out and get money. Now, interestingly enough, this whole thing I am doing on business credit. I'm actually not using my cash, but pretty much all of the expenses are on that credit card. That credit card has a $75,000 limit. And this is the first time, like right now, I am like $40,000 on that credit card. And that's the most money that I've ever carried on a credit card. But once again, it's business, and the interest and all that other stuff, that's a tax deduction. So I'm not worried about it. But literally, if you have a 700 credit score and you manage your money correctly, getting the money that you need to start your business, and that would put, to start a YouTube business at minimum, if you use $3,000 to $6,500, and that's to fully get everything set up. So those are your numbers for an internet business. And I know that's just kind of topical because you can go much deeper if you get into it, because everyone's trying to do Etsy or everyone's trying to do, user-generated content and make these commercials for these brands. That's something that you can get into really, really cheaply. But this is where everyone's going, and these models are going to be saturated, and it's just going to be really hard to make what I call a livable income in terms from these businesses. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see you guys in the next one.